I think we got.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, good. Thanks.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for taking a minute out. Where are you coming out of, Max?
I was just rehearsing here for a gig I have tomorrow.
Are you in New York though?
I'm in New York. Yeah.
Okay, you're in New York. Cool. I just wanted to geographically place everybody. Well, gentlemen, thank you for taking a minute out today. And what I would like to do to start the conversation before we get into the latest album is to cover what everybody lived through for the last 3.5 years or so, which was COVID. How did you get through it, and how good does it feel to have an album coming out now in this kind of post-pandemic era?
Yeah, it feels amazing. And it's been a long time coming because we actually recorded this in February, believe it or not, of 2020. So,
wow.
It's been a process because we mixed this thing. Our drummer lives in Philly. We recorded the record in Philly. The rest of us are in New York City. So, man, we mixed the thing basically like on Zoom calls.
Wow.
And then, and then exchanging drafts around and people, all of us listening and feedback. And then, so piece by piece, we've been doing this, and it's great to finally get it out there. So,
yeah. How about you, Max?
Yeah, I mean, it was this sort of under the wire thing. We went to Philly and recorded it, and literally like a couple of days after we came back, it was all over, and the pandemic started. So we were very lucky, and it feels very special to us because of the circumstances of how we recorded it. Plus also the studio where we recorded it in Philadelphia, I have a long-standing relationship with the person who put this cultural center together there. Jim Hamilton is an old friend of mine. So I was very happy to be able to bring, my brothers from the Santos to sort of my other brother, Jim Hamilton in Philadelphia. It was very meaningful to me that we were able to record this in this space where I've had a lot of other great concert and recording experiences. So, the vibe in the studio is very, very nice. And a lot of great friends of mine have performed there. So, it was very meaningful just even to have this place to record. And and then as with many other artists, it was great to have a purpose, during the time when you were just kind of sitting and, trying to not get into your head too much. It was great to have something to focus on and to say, hey guys, we have this music. Let's make it as good as we can possibly get it,
So
we really tweaked stuff like crazy just because we had the time on our hands. Yeah. And that's not to say I think that we didn't get each of us individually get inside our heads. And COVID didn't really throw us, the biggest curveball of our lives as musicians.
Of course.
It really did.
Sure. It really did, yeah.
So Santos 4 is the new album. What are you hoping the listener gets from this experience?
Just ear candy, joy, great grooves, the feeling of dance that is not only in the music itself, but there is a dancer in the band in Max. So, I think this record is for us kind of our crowning glory. It's where we fully realized who we are as a band and in terms of our musical mission. So I don't want to say too much about that because you asked about what is the listener going to get out of it. The listener is just going to hear really high energy, fiery, great grooving music with some really strong melodies and some great improvising.
Right on.
And I would add to that this album is definitely a journey because it is a little bit of a pinnacle of a journey for us, for the band. As Pete said, it's a little bit of a crowning achievement of 20 years plus making music together and traveling together and experiencing all kinds of, great and hard things together. So it's a story of life experience, really, that we're telling through our music. And I would say that every single tune is a journey in itself. but definitely the album really takes you, it takes you around the globe a little bit, because we use different sounds, different textures, that if you're really listening intently, will definitely take you on a journey. And it's more, it has more effects and more electronic music textures than we used to use. So for us, it's also kind of like breaking a little bit new ground sonically and texturally. So that helps to take the listener on a little bit of a psychedelic journey, because we take it out. We really go into the stratosphere a couple of times, which we always do, but here we also do so with electronic textures and things like that. So it's I think it's our greatest album so far.
So talk to me a little bit about when this group came together, the circumstances, and just kind of how it led to today.
Sure. So, I mean, the first relationship that got built on was myself and drummer Beaver Bausch. We met in school in the 80s. And then we met Max in the 90s in New York City. We all moved to New York and started playing together and developing this concept. In the late 90s, I had well, I should say before the Pete Smith trio happened, Max and Beaver both went to Cuba a couple of times in the 90s. And Max, you can talk more to that in a sec, but so the relationship with, Beaver and Max, going to Cuba and getting really an immersion in the music there and the people and the culture. And there was a club on the Upper West Side called El Taller. It still exists. It's now over on the East Side, up in Spanish Harlem. But Beaver began studying Spanish there, and next thing you know, the director of this Hispanic Cultural Center, Bernardo Palumbo, said, "Hey, you want to workshop, Afro-Cuban and jazz and other influences? Come here and play once a week." So we started just workshopping the music in, I think that was '98. That sound right, Max? And Max was there, and we had a saxophonist named Paul Carlin and a bass player named Nick Walker. And our first record came out in 2000.
Yeah, it was again, a journey, literally, because after Beaver and I had gone to Cuba and started getting really immersed in the culture, I got a grant in 2001 to produce the first ever tap dance festival in Cuba, in Havana. And we did that, and I brought Santos with me. So the band came to Cuba with me, and we performed in Cuba, in Havana, with some of the greatest Cuban musicians. And we had a really profound experience that really shaped our band, shaped our experience, shaped our lives, and shaped our sound, for sure. Including, experiences going to sacred ceremonies of Santeria, experiencing, the orishas and the power of this spiritual culture there. And yeah, we were different people when we came back, for sure. And that kind of guided our path from then on. And that's one part, of the journey. And then we also played together with one of the greatest Afro-Cuban musicians, Juan Pablo Torres, who's a great trombonist, composer, and arranger and producer, who's unfortunately passed away. But he was, a senior genius jazz musician from Cuba who heard us play at El Taller, at this Latin American Cultural Center in 1999, and basically swooped us up and said, "Hey, you want to be my backup band?" Because he wanted to play, and he liked our sound. And then we started playing with him on a regular basis, including at Town Hall at a huge concert in 1999 that was called Super Son Cubano, with some of the greatest Cuban musicians of all time. And we were just, humbled beyond belief, but, they wanted us there, and we played, and It was one of the greatest experiences of my life, and I think I speak for all the guys, you know. So those things were really, really formative for the band, you know, to glue us together as a unit and to, you know, give us these experiences together. And that's what the music is. The music speaks to this history. The music speaks to these life experiences, and that's the journey that we're taking the listener on.
So speaking of glue and experiences, what is it about the band that has been around for so long that's remained relevant and vital and something that you all want to keep going?
I think one of the aspects of this thing is the learning curve. We all, as Max said, the inspiration that we got is kind of early on in the band's career from Juan Pablo Torres and from performing in Cuba and hearing music in Cuba was this just desire to continue to learn and grow as musicians. And I'm not just talking about Cuban music, I'm talking about everything that all of us are involved with. And, you know, another aspect of this is Santos has always been kind of a pet project for all of us. We're all working musicians. We're all pursuing our career in New York as sidemen, as band members in other bands, teachers, et cetera, the things that are kind of, in this day and age, are kind of required as a jazz musician in New York to kind of like, unless you're, you know, unless you're Robert Glasper going right to the top, you know, you're diversifying and you're doing everything you can to be a musician in New York. So as a pet project, Santos has been something that we all just dearly love. And it's really, I think in all of our hearts, it's our favorite thing, but we know that we can't do it all the time. So we, when we get together, it's really special. Just like you know, your point about COVID, like coming out of COVID, like, wow, every experience playing music is incredibly special. Well, we've always had that kind of feeling when we get together and we work on something. Someone's written a tune, we start working it out. So I think that's a little bit of what's so magic about this band. And we've always let each person be themselves, and we've always been a cooperative. No one has ever been the quote unquote leader of this band. So one of our just as an example, like one of our little jokey things that we do is whoever gets the gig has to actually announce. You know, so we kind of keep it like loose, and we allow every person to be who they are. And I think that really speaks to the longevity of the band.
Did you want to
I
add
would say the
Max?
same. Yeah, I would say the same thing. You know, the shared experience and the long time that we've spent playing music together adds so much to each time we play. You know, it feels like we're getting on a ship or on a spaceship or something every time we play. And you know, we just go for the stars, and because we know each other so well, we trust each other, and we can take all kinds of risks. It's fine. We know that, you know, the others will have your back, and you can jump anywhere, and they'll be there to, you know, come with you and go like, yeah, okay, well, that's crazy, let's do it, you know. And we have a great time, and usually that spark jumps over onto the audience too. So that's really what makes this special. And yeah, and everybody is allowed to be themselves. You know, everybody is allowed to have their fits and turns and trips, and the others will support it, you know, and not without commentary. You know? But there's a lot of humor involved, of course, also, but also an amazing amount of knowledge. Like, you know, all these cats are really ridiculously talented and accomplished, and I'm just like, you know, my jaw drops every time I play with them. Like, holy cow, like how lucky am I to still be playing with these guys? You know, it's really it's an honor, and we really love each other, and we've been supporting each other for that long, and you can hear that I think you hear that on the record, and you hear that and you see that when we play, for sure.
So let's say you have a trip to Kansas City planned to play a show here. And right now you have to convince people in Kansas City to come to that show, to get a ticket to see you live. How would you do that? How would you get them there, and how would you describe your show?
Mm. I would say everything that you love about the music of the 70s, the early 70s, when rock bands were putting out these crazy albums that go all over the place, where the kinship between the artists who are on stage, between the band, is just like this. If you want to hear a really close knit and fiery operation of people who've been together and have really been in the trenches together for years, come hear a Santos show. It will blow your mind what happens. We never play anything the same way twice. Yeah. It's always fresh. It's because we, you know, our litmus test for ourselves is we have to find something new. We have to make it fresh. So to come and hear some, you know, get to know the record a little bit, and then come hear us, and you will hear another journey.
Yeah, I'd say, you know, grab your kids, grab your friends, and get ready to dance.
Nice.
You know, we're gonna light some fire under your soles of your shoes, let's just say. And we like to have fun, and we like to have people contribute and be part of our experience. So it's a communal joy. It's a communal jam. You know, we also do a little bit of audience participation. I do that a lot. And again, it's a jam with textures that will surprise you. And from all corners of the globe, we play things that make you recognize, oh, wow, you know, and they make you surprised, like, what's this? Where's this coming from? And then it'll make you go, it'll make you bop your head. The stuff will make you bop your head and kick your heels, for sure. And you'll be singing along too, probably.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to pick up the new album, previous work, find out about live shows, anything about you guys, where do they go?
You can go to Santos4tet.com. That's our website. You can check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Santos4tet. And you know, the record is due to be released. We've already released 5 tracks from the record, so you can check that out on all the digital platforms, whether it be Apple Music, Spotify, et cetera, et cetera. So the full album will be released on November 3rd, and it's happening to be in conjunction with the Bandcamp Friday. So if you go to Bandcamp on Friday, November 3rd, check us out. You know, all proceeds of a digital download go to us, so we really appreciate that.
Right on. Gentlemen, thank you for opening up about the album, about the band. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Thanks so much, Joe. We really appreciate you and what you're doing there.
Absolutely.